Have you ever wondered how tons of honey are in jars on store shelves? It's not just about collecting nectar. It's a fascinating process involving thousands of bees, careful farming, and much hard work. From sunrise to sunset, honeybee farms buzz with activity, working around the clock to bring you the sweetest treat nature has to offer. Stick around to see exactly what happens behind the scenes of a honeybee farm and discover how this sticky, golden goodness is made. Imagine a honeybee farm. It might look peaceful and quiet at first glance, but inside each hive, there's a world of activity that doesn't stop. Honey production is a process that requires teamwork, both from the bees and from the people who take care of them. While bees fly out to gather nectar, the farmers work behind the scenes to make sure everything runs smoothly. On a large honeybee farm, where tons of honey are produced, the daily routines are carefully planned. Every hive needs attention, every bee has a job, and every part of the farm plays a role in creating the honey we enjoy. This isn't just about gathering a few jars of honey. It's a complex operation where thousands of bees work all day, and the farmers have to keep up with them. Today we're going to walk through a day on a honeybee farm. From morning hive checks to the afternoon honey harvest, we'll see how farmers and bees work together to produce honey on a large scale. So let's dive into this buzzing world and see what really happens behind the scenes of honey production. Beekeeping, or apiculture, is a meticulous practice requiring both knowledge and patience. The process begins with setting up hives, which are carefully designed to mimic a bee's natural environment. Farmers monitor the bees' behavior, providing support during nectar-scarce seasons by feeding them sugar water. Disease management is also crucial. Farmers must watch for pests like varroa mites or bacterial infections such as foul brood. Hive inspections occur regularly, focusing on queen productivity, worker bee activity, and honeycomb health. By ensuring each colony thrives, farmers maintain a balance between honey production and the well-being of the bees. Successful beekeeping is as much about nurturing as it is about harvesting, reflecting a deep partnership with nature. The queen bee is vital to the hive's health and survival. She is raised from a larva specially selected and fed royal jelly, a nutrient-rich secretion from worker bees. This exclusive diet allows the queen to develop her reproductive capabilities. Farmers often introduce queen larvae into hives lacking a queen to restore harmony and productivity. It takes about 16 days for a larva to mature into a queen, during which the hive prepares for her reign. Once she emerges, the queen's primary role is to lay eggs, up to 2,000 per day. Her presence emits pheromones that maintain order and cooperation within the hive, ensuring its smooth operation. Bees exhibit highly organized behavior that ensures the survival of their colony. Worker bees, the most active members, perform various tasks including foraging, hive maintenance, and nursing larvae. Drones, the male bees, focus solely on mating with the queen, while the queen dedicates her life to egg-laying. Bees communicate through waggle dances, intricate movements that convey the location of nectar-rich flowers. They also use pheromones to signal danger or attract mates. Understanding these behaviors helps beekeepers anticipate hive needs, manage swarming tendencies, and optimize honey production. Honey frames are critical components of a hive, providing a structured foundation for honeycombs. These rectangular structures are coated with a thin layer of beeswax to encourage bees to build their combs. As bees fill the frames with nectar, they gradually convert it into honey, which they then seal with a wax cap. Beekeepers monitor the frames to prevent overcrowding and ensure bees have enough room to work. Frames are rotated as needed, and during harvesting, these filled frames are carefully removed for extraction. Once the honey frames are ready, the extraction process begins. Beekeepers start by uncapping the wax seals on the honeycomb cells using specialized tools. This exposes the honey stored within. The uncapped frames are then placed into a honey extractor, a machine that spins the frames at high speed. The centrifugal force draws the honey out of the combs, allowing it to flow into a collection tank. After extraction, the honey is filtered to remove impurities like bits of wax or debris. This ensures the final product is pure and ready for bottling. Ensuring high-quality honey is essential for both consumers and producers. Quality control begins with monitoring the moisture content of the honey. Ideal honey should have a moisture level of less than 18%, as excess moisture can lead to fermentation. Farmers also test for purity, ensuring the honey is free of additives or artificial sweeteners. Filtration removes impurities, while taste tests and laboratory analyses confirm the honey's consistency and quality. This rigorous process guarantees that the honey reaching store shelves meets high standards of purity and flavor. The diversity of honey is astounding, with each variety offering a unique flavor, color, and aroma. The type of flowers visited by bees determines the honey's characteristics. Clover honey, light, floral, and mild in flavor. Buckwheat honey, dark and rich with a bold taste. Orange blossom honey, sweet with a citrusy fragrance. Specialty honeys like manuka or acacia are prized for their medicinal and culinary properties. Beekeepers can produce monofloral honey by positioning hives near specific flower sources, catering to diverse consumer preferences. Puwawa honey, known for its purity and richness, originates from remote, pristine environments. This honey is often produced by bees feeding on wildflowers and untouched ecosystems, resulting in a product of exceptional quality. Rich in antioxidants, vitamins, and minerals, Puwawa honey is not only a culinary delight, but also a health-boosting addition to diets. Many communities producing Puwawa honey rely on sustainable beekeeping practices, ensuring the preservation of their natural resources while creating a premium product. Honey has been a staple in beauty rituals for centuries due to its antibacterial and moisturizing properties. Its natural enzymes and nutrients help to soothe and heal skin, making it a popular ingredient in face masks, scrubs, and creams. For skin, honey reduces acne, hydrates dry skin, and promotes a glowing complexion. For hair, it acts as a natural conditioner, adding shine and softness. For lips, honey soothes chapped lips, keeping them soft and supple. From DIY treatments to high-end cosmetics, honey's versatility makes it a go-to ingredient for beauty enthusiasts seeking natural remedies. As the sun rises, the farm comes to life. The farmers begin their day early, preparing for the busy hours ahead. Their first task is to check on the hives. They carefully approach each hive to ensure everything is in order. The bees are the heart of the operation, and keeping them healthy is the farmer's top priority. They inspect the hives to make sure the bees are thriving. If any hive looks weak or damaged, the farmer makes the necessary repairs. The farmers also check the frames inside the hive, where the bees build their honeycombs. It's important that the bees have enough space to work, so the frames are adjusted if needed. At the same time, the farmers check the health of the bees. They look for signs of disease or pests, which can affect the bees' ability to produce honey. If there's any sign of trouble, they take immediate action to keep the hive strong and the bees safe. These early morning checks are crucial because they set the tone for the rest of the day. By making sure the hives are healthy and ready, the farmers help create the best environment for the bees to do their work. This careful attention is one of the many ways the farm produces tons of honey each year. As the morning progresses, the bees begin to stir. They've been waiting for the right moment, and now it's time to get to work. Thousands of worker bees leave the hive in search of nectar, the essential ingredient for making honey. Their tiny wings carry them from flower to flower, sometimes flying several miles to find the best blossoms. Each bee collects nectar by using its long tongue, or proboscis, to suck the sweet liquid from flowers. Once they have enough nectar, they store it in their honey stomachs, a special part of their body designed for this task. The worker bees then fly back to the hive, where they'll deposit the nectar for the next phase of honey production. While it may seem like a simple job, these tiny bees work tirelessly. A single bee might visit up to 1,000 flowers in one day, and it takes around 2 million flowers to produce just 1 pound of honey. These small efforts add up over time, and as the bees continue their work, they help the farm reach the huge scale of honey production that we see later in the season. By noon, the bees have returned with their nectar, and the next phase of honey making begins. Inside the hive, the bees start the process of turning the nectar into honey. They deposit the nectar into the hexagonal cells of the honeycomb, and from there, they begin to dry it out. To help the drying process, the bees fan their wings over the nectar, blowing warm air across it. This reduces the moisture content, turning the nectar into thick, sweet honey. Once the honey is properly dried, the bees seal the cells with a layer of beeswax, locking in the honey for later use. This is a delicate and time-consuming process, requiring the bees to work together. They must monitor the moisture content of the honey, ensure the cells are properly sealed, and keep the hive's temperature at an optimal level. It's a highly coordinated effort that relies on the bees' instinctive understanding of their environment. At the same time, farmers are busy tending to the hives. They check to make sure the bees are working efficiently and that no part of the hive is overcrowded. By this point in the day, the bees are already hard at work, creating the sweet honey that will be harvested later. After a full day of hard work, it's time for the farmers to collect the honeycombs. They carefully remove the frames from the hives, ensuring not to disturb the bees too much. The honeycombs are full of golden nectar, which will soon be turned into honey. The farmers take the frames back to the honey house, a special building on the farm designed for honey extraction. Here the frames are uncapped and the honey is extracted. This process involves removing the wax seal from each cell so the honey can flow out. Using a honey extractor, a large machine that spins the frames to force the honey out, the bees' hard work is finally realized. The honey flows into large containers, ready for filtering and bottling. This part of the process is crucial because it ensures the honey is clean and free of impurities. Once the honey is harvested, it's carefully filtered to remove any remaining bits of wax or debris. Then it's packaged into jars for sale or distribution. The honey is now ready to be enjoyed by people all over the world, but the process doesn't stop there. The farmers will continue working with the bees to ensure the next harvest is just as successful. As the day comes to a close, the farm begins to wind down. The bees have finished collecting nectar, and the farmers have harvested the honey. However, the work doesn't end just yet. There's always something to do to ensure the health and well-being of the hives. In the evening, farmers check their equipment and prepare for the next day. This includes cleaning the honey extractors and tools used during the harvest, ensuring that everything is ready for the next cycle. They also take a final look at the hives, making sure the bees are secure for the night. The bees will need rest before starting their work again in the morning, so it's essential to create a safe environment for them to sleep. Farmers often take notes on the day's activities, recording any changes in the hive, any signs of disease, or any changes in honey production. This helps them track the health of the bees and the success of the harvest over time. They may also plan for the next season, ensuring that the bees are properly cared for through the colder months when honey production slows down. After all the honey is harvested, the next important step is storage and packaging. The raw honey is placed in large storage tanks where it is allowed to settle. This process removes air bubbles and ensures the honey is free from any remaining bits of wax or debris. Once the honey is settled and purified, it is ready to be bottled. The bottling process is a delicate one. Each jar is filled with pure honey, sealed tightly, and labeled with information about its source and quality. Farmers and beekeepers take great pride in ensuring that every jar is filled with the finest, most natural honey possible. The packaging also ensures that the honey remains fresh for consumers, preserving its taste and quality. Some farmers may even add a personal touch to the packaging, such as a note about the farm's beekeeping practices or a special blend of honey produced by their bees. Once the honey is packaged, it's time for shipping and distribution. Depending on the size of the operation, honey may be distributed locally to farmers' markets, grocery stores, or even specialized retailers who focus on organic or local products. Farmers often work with distributors to get their honey into the hands of consumers, and sometimes they sell directly to customers through online platforms or subscription services. As the honey travels from the farm to your table, it carries the story of the bees, the land, and the care taken by the farmers who ensured its creation. Sustainable beekeeping is a vital part of the honey production process. Farmers today are more conscious of the environmental impact of their practices, and many are committed to sustainable, eco-friendly methods. This includes minimizing the use of chemicals, ensuring that bees have access to a variety of flowering plants, and protecting natural habitats. Some farms even practice regenerative agriculture, where they focus on improving soil health and increasing biodiversity. By using these methods, they help ensure that both the bees and the environment thrive. Sustainable beekeeping also helps to preserve bee populations, which are vital for pollination and the health of our ecosystems. The legacy of honey farming goes beyond just the honey itself. It's a tradition passed down through generations of beekeepers who have honed their craft over time. For many, beekeeping is a passion, a way of life, rather than just a job. These farmers are not only responsible for producing honey, but also for maintaining the delicate balance of nature that supports bee populations. As the demand for natural, organic, and sustainable products grows, the legacy of honey farming continues to thrive. The work that these farmers do ensures that we have access to high-quality, natural honey, while also protecting the bees that make it all possible. Behind every jar of honey is a story, one of hard work, dedication, and the incredible teamwork between humans and bees. From the early morning hive checks to the evening preparations for the next day, honey production is a process that involves careful attention to detail and respect for the environment. Whether you're enjoying honey on toast or using it in your favorite recipe, remember that it's the result of a journey that started with hardworking bees and farmers committed to quality and sustainability.